But of course, for me to be out at an elegant evening like tonight and to have my mother and her husband with me really is really a crowning jewel. And you know, my mom said, I really like to go to these fancy events. I want to thank my good friend Charlie Fogarty. I was just shocked when Julie told me that Charlie was going to take time out of his evening to come here tonight and help us celebrate the great organization that Steere House is. And really, Charlie, the Fogarty family is amazing, and he's right. His brother and I could not have less in common sitting next to each other. We argue about political issues all the time. I'm always trying to press his button the right way, green or red. But they are a fine family, and again, I'm just so pleased to be here. Now, what Charlie didn't tell you when he took a picture of my car in the no parking zone was that I was carrying in karaoke equipment in the snow to try to sing Christmas carols with the residents. But no, he just took a picture of my car with the no parking zone and has threatened to blackmail me ever since. But despite all that, Charlie, again, thank you so much for those kind words. And I also want to acknowledge, I have some great colleagues in government from Pawtucket here, the Pawtucket City Council. I have my good friend Larry Tetrault, whose mother-in-law, Mrs. Landry, is in Steere House, and my good friend Mark Wildenhain, two city councilors, also always fighting the good fight for good quality long-term care. And I, of course, want to congratulate and acknowledge the employees of the year. I mean, Akua, I love you. You bring so much joy to my life, to my mom's life, to Steere House. You're such a class act. And also, of course, Stephanie here with her boyfriend Solomon, sitting in for Irene Peck. Irene is nothing short of an angel living on this earth, and it really breaks my heart that she can't be here with all of us tonight to experience this great night and receive her honor. But as soon as I saw her daughter smile, I knew right away that that had to be Irene's daughter. So I also want to thank Linda and the board of directors of Steere House. Really, you are the stewards of the legacy of this fine organization. Thank you also to Julie Richards and Michelle. Julie, of course, our fabulous executive director. Michelle, her assistant. To the incredible CNAs, the nursing staff, the activity staff, the dietary staff, the laundry staff, the maintenance staff. And I truly hope I haven't missed anyone, because like it takes a village to raise a child, it takes a village to run a nursing home. And I thank all of you, because all of you are the ones who make Steere House so great. And because of all of you and the great esteem I hold you all in, I am so honored and really touched and humbled to receive this award tonight. I thank you all so much, but the truth is, I have so much more than this award to thank you for. Oof. How can I begin to thank you all for caring for my mother and Stephen, but for my mother and for doing what I would want to do, except I can't. It is truly a horrible and painful moment when you realize that although you would like to take care of your mother and father or father, their needs are just far too great and overwhelming, and you know that you could never do that on your own. I hope none of you in this room ever faced that moment. I know some of you have, because I see my friends here, and Charlie talked about his mom and Mary Ellen's mom and so many. But for anyone who has to face that choice, I hope that you are as lucky as my mom and I are, and Charlie and Larry, and that you can find a nursing home as incredible as Steere House. You see, when I graduated from college, I never set out to be a nursing home advocate. In fact, I think the moment Charlie was talking about, I was advocating for no nukes and against nuclear energy. But, you know, then again, I never thought my mom would have a severe stroke at age 69. And just like I would do anything for my mother, I would do anything for Steere House. You know, I have marveled at my mom's resilience and her spirit. You know, there she is, hemiplegic and wheelchair bound, But literally, not one day since she has been at Steere House has she ever said, "Why me?" I see firsthand the very full life she leads at Steere House. And it's the aides and the staff who not only take care of my mom physically, but perhaps even more importantly, they take care of her emotionally. And they bring her love and spunk and spice and joy every single day. My mom has come over for Sunday dinner and football during football season for almost all of the 15 years that she has been at Steere House. And I remember the Sunday when my mom came home and told me that they had nicknamed her Hot Mama. I could only imagine why. But it got even better. I remember the Sunday when Hot Mama came home and announced to me that she wanted to marry another resident, Stephen Beatty. That's just how rich life can be at Steere House. And I, of course, remember that moment when somehow the child becomes the parent, and I said, "No, Mom, you can't marry another resident. You have to be with him for at least 1 year. If after a year you still love Stephen and you want to get married, you can get married." And sure enough, here they are, married 7 years later. Good round of applause. So we love Stephen, we have adopted him into our family, and they are our Sunday afternoon staples, and they bring us every week our Sunday afternoon sunshine. And of course, I want to thank my beautiful wife, Kelly, and my friends, Mary Ellen and Josephine, for supporting me in this Sunday afternoon ritual. Again, you see, it takes a village. And as a state senator, I often have Sunday afternoon events that are a command performance. So I often embroil my wife and my friends and say, "Hey honey, hey Mary Ellen, hey Joe, I've got something I have to do today. Do you think you could be at the house at 2 o'clock to meet the ride van? I promise I won't be too long." And of course, they all graciously help, usually providing far better food than I could ever cook. So thank you, Kelly, Mary Ellen, and Joe for always being part of my joy. And you know, over the 15 years that my mom has been at Steere House, and I always say she breaks all of the records about how long people live in nursing homes, but I have come to know some of the aides very well. Carmen Williams is like a sister to me. As I said before, Irene Peck is nothing short of an angel. Carmen Garcia and Akua and Michaela, I am so proud to call you my friend and to count you among my true friends. And there are so many others. There are countless. We've got Charmaine and Quilma, and you know, you always start to name names, and Pat and Beth, and I just could go on and on. But I really love you for all of the work that you do. And that's why, as a state senator, I will always have Steere House's back, and I will always have the back of all the great nursing homes in our state. So when I hear of proposals to cut fundings or to tweak the acuity ratings, I know what that means. And when the UHIP debacle occurred, you know, I knew what it would be like for Steere House to be providing care all those months while applications were lost in space, so to speak, and pending with the state. And also, when there is a proposal to raise the wages for direct care workers, I'm always in favor of increasing state funds so that these amazing staff members can get the raises that they need and deserve. So when those things happen, or other things, you can count on me to be on it. And I will always go running to either Charlie Fogarty if it's something that he can deal with, or to the governor, or to the Senate president, or to my good friend, the Senate whip, Senator Mary Ellen Goodwin, who, as Charlie said, both of her parents were cared for by Steere House before they passed on. And, you know, she is so grateful, as am I and Charlie, for the fabulous work that Steere House does. And that's why together, she and I and people like Charlie Fogarty, we will go and raise holy hell until the budget cuts are somehow overcome, the tweaks are not made, or you know, the government finds the ability to do what it has to do so that great nursing homes like Steere House can do the great work that they do. Nobody knows better than any of us who have a loved one at Steere House just what nursing homes and quality care can do for the life of our beloved family members. And I think we all want to, I think Charlie mentioned this too, we all have to be so vigilant about the repeal and replace of Obamacare. That would be catastrophic to nursing homes, and so on the federal level, not just the state level, we need to make sure that we're all doing our part to make sure this great organization and all of the great nursing homes out there have the funding and the resources that they need to provide that great care for our loved ones. You know, family truly is the most important pillar of our society. Mom, Stephen, I love you both so much. And we all will be forever grateful to our Steere House family. And if part of my legacy is that I have helped the Steere House nursing home or nursing homes in general, I will at least have done something right. And those deeds, I hope, will get me through the proverbial gates and the pearly gates of heaven. But in reality, this legacy award belongs to all of you. You are the ones who every day bring love and hope and care to our elderly family members. It is your legacy that will live on forever in our hearts and in the annals of heaven. I dedicate this award to Carmen and Michaela and Charmaine and Richard and Michaela and Gina and Beth, and I could go on, right to Jana, the receptionist, and Max, who transports people around. This award is really for all of you. All of you are indeed the legacy of Steere House. Thank you so much.